Republic sent a unit to retrieve our team's bodies. They said to thank you for your help.
Aren't you going to ask if he wasted his time on your pet project?
Why do you always try to ruin everything? Do Sullustan moms not hug their children or something? Did you get to the bombardment site? I don't see a scratch on you.
The Rakghouls didn't want to give up their blood, but I convinced them.
I'm sure you can be quite persuasive. Just let me see the samples. I've got a portable scanner that can give us preliminary results right now. That's amazing. There's over a 50% correlation. Genetic drift usually means a much less marked connection, even in a normal population after so many years.
It should not surprise us that Rakghouls retain some memory of their lives.
Many animals show emotion toward their dead. It doesn't mean they think.
Don't just dismiss it now. This is an incredible find.
What? Where's the cynical disbelief?
You can't dispute the numbers, Sierra. You're right. This is amazing. If Rakghouls have enough rationality to remember people and places that matter to them, we can't keep treating them like mindless animals.
If they can think, maybe someday we can make peace with them.
Exactly. We need to cancel our operations in these grave sites. We can't keep antagonizing them.
But if we know they come to the defense of certain territories, we can bait them, draw them out, so the Republic can send in troops to exterminate them.
No, if they're sentient, we can't just keep murdering them.
I'll contact the Reconstruction Authority. Do you have an opinion on this?
If there's any way to coexist peacefully with the Rakghouls, we should take it.
I guess it's a virtue to forgive, right? At least this way, maybe we can avoid those kind of attacks in the future. I'll give the Republic your recommendation. Thank you again for all your help.
If you have any questions about military operations on... My pardon, Jedi. I'm actually expecting one of your order. Are you the one who saved my team at the Endar Spire?
Everything from the primary computers is on here.
The data from the Endar Spire will be invaluable to the Republic's war efforts. Lieutenant Karlsu tells me there's close surveillance footage of the Imperial warships.
The Force reaches out to correct its own imbalance.
Well, whether it does or not, I'm going to keep helping it along. Thank you for your service. Republic intelligence has been waiting for this data since the bombardment fell.
Welcome back. Let's get those serum samples analyzed and see what we've got. Well, thank the Force for good Teresian storage technology. I wasn't sure anything would still be viable after 3 centuries. While we wait, is there a cost to these samples I should be aware of? A deal with a pirate crew, perhaps?
There was some unavoidable violence on the way in.
I see. Then if it didn't happen in a plastic beaker, don't tell me about it. Here we are. Fortunately, the plague is so virulent it cultures very rapidly. Bad news. The serum you recovered looks like it was effective 300 years ago. But the Rakghoul plague has mutated since then. This serum will only provide effective immunity for extraordinarily healthy individuals.
No one's going to take an unreliable vaccine.
Yes, but it gives us options. Right now, I need what we call a lucky survivor, whose system has antibodies to the modern plague. We haven't had a survivor yet, for obvious reasons, but this serum might provide the link we need. If I infected an extraordinary individual protected by the serum, I could collect the antibodies and make an effective vaccine.
I don't like where this is going.
I need someone with proven recuperative powers. Someone who gets injured almost on a daily basis. Ideally, they would have survived stabbings, shootings, poison, infections, maybe all of the above. Or barring that, someone with conscious control over their bodily processes, such as a Jedi.
I am well versed in that art. It should be safer for me than others.
Well, and I have this whole speech ready. All right. We have a medical droid, CB-084, set up to observe Rakghouls in the field. He'll be able to collect the antibodies and slow any potential complications. After I give you the serum, Go out there and test it. Let the Rakghouls attack you and see what happens.
You don't have this plague in a needle or something?
It needs to work in the field. It needs to work in the field. Now, here's your serum injection. I hope the Force is with you, because the science is stretched to the limit.
Mahatachi wanchi ayitiupi. Wafuna the water donwi wanki watoba jakaluka. Nagoliji watahumpa mulira watawampa.
You have my sympathies.
Dios Magdalia, wadwana ubikili watabunga, toka patoga lurda. Mukudani yompi bedwana ni bobo chopaduma.
Revenge won't justify your squadron's death.
Jaktani chichajima scotcha. Lugusanopi chonki. Fakota chi otto endia.
This won't take long.
Iguatuchu. Tahawa the punyo is the water. Se grotto ubi. Fui baniaka twipi ta boka tonka. Wana waka.
What do you think, Khan?
The foundation of the Terrace Chemworks factory cannot be repaired. I expect total collapse within 2 weeks. Once the building falls, the stored chemicals will flood this area. They are highly toxic to humans. I am sorry.
I'll make sure there are speeders on hand, but we can't just pack up and go. Do what you can.
As always, I will pursue an alternative. Master Jedi, forgive my inattentiveness. I am honored by your presence, though I advise you not to stay long.
You were talking about evacuation. What's going on?
Many of these ruins are unstable. A nearby structure used for chemical storage is on the verge of crumbling. As I was explaining to my colleague, there is only one way to remove the chemicals before they spill. A burn-off. A well-armed demolitions team could reach the structure and incinerate the chemical stockpiles. I can provide the incendiaries. Unfortunately, no team is available.
I'd like to help any way I can.
Your generosity is considerable. You should know, however, between the structural instability, the toxicity levels, and the incendiary chemicals, the mission does carry substantial risk. It is nonetheless urgent. You are not a demolitions team, I fully recognize this. But if you could arrange the burn-off, I would humbly welcome your aid.
Ah, I see your infection is progressing. Hold still while I take samples for analysis. While I transmit the data to Dr. Cell, there are some questions I should ask. Do you have any of the following symptoms? Dizziness, fever, shortness of breath, and inexhaustible hunger for sentient flesh?
I could go for a Nerf burger. That doesn't count, right?
I will note it on your chart. Ah, here's Dr. Cell.
Good news. Your antibody count is off the charts. I'll start work on a vaccine immediately. You are remarkably brave. Our progress has just jumped forward by years. While you recuperate, I'm going to transmit the usual secrecy agreements. Just use your thumbprint to sign on the sensor.
What do you mean, usual secrecy agreements?
This is standard procedure when the Republic develops biotech with significant earnings potential. We develop the vaccine for Republic soldiers first, and when it's proven, sell it to colonists. Until then, it's under wraps. We don't want the Exchange or the Sith funding some horrible operation with an underground version.
Lives will be lost while this profit is being made.
Tell me something I don't know. Every week we hear another Rakghoul horror story. But every colonist on the planet is going to want this vaccine. How do I tell my superiors we gave up that kind of money?
An entire planet succumbed to this plague. Are you a doctor or patent office?
I'm a doctor. And this cure will get made, even if I have to build the manufacturing plant or hand-synthesize every macrophage.
Well, I think she's angry, but from past experience, may I say that usually motivates her. If it means anything coming from a droid, sir, congratulations on your research, and also your remarkable survival.
Master Jedi, please, excuse my abruptness. The Republic told me you might be able to help with a difficult situation. They say you are a most reliable operative on Terrace. Have you heard anything about titroxinate being sold on the black market?
What's titroxinate?
Titroxinate was the pre-patent name for the weaponized agent we think was responsible for the Rakghoul plague. The Empire could fashion it into a terrible weapon, turning us soldiers into monsters and setting them against us.
Where's the arms dealer who's selling this stuff?
I'm more worried about its source. Trace the original titroxinate samples to an old Chemworks factory. It's overrun with Nexu. We can't get near it. If you can retrieve any canisters that remain, the Republic will see you're well rewarded for your effort.
Master Jedi, what brings you to our small corner of Republic space? This is such a great honor.
What's the situation?
We're having some trouble. Nothing you couldn't have predicted, but there you are. Our bases here are far from self-sufficient. We're not farmers, and there's no existing infrastructure here to work with. We're at the mercy of our supply ships. And this one's just went nose down in some of the worst territory on Terrace.
Is the ship lost? Why haven't your men recovered the supplies?
Our men tried to reach the ship once, but they turned back after taking serious casualties. They said it's more than just Rakghouls, but couldn't make an ID. If you still want to go, you'll need to talk to our quartermaster at the supply shed across the base. She's got the exact coordinates of the crash.
And you're just going to make this all better, huh?
Usually, people are happy if I come to make things better.
I'm Karen Wet, Quartermaster. Commander Gardet just called to say you're retrieving our supplies. For which, by the way, I and the rest of the troops here humbly thank you. But I don't want Commander Fatpants to think it means he gets away with this. Steal from your troops, waste Republic money bringing in silks and wine from Alderaan, and it's fine, because some wandering Jedi will happen in to save you.
That's a serious accusation.
I said over and over that the ship needed repairs. The left stasis generator was loose, and the hyperdrive motivator was seeping fluid. But Gardet had already spent our allotted maintenance budget on himself.
It is only with calm purpose that you can bring him to justice.
Oh, if that's what it takes, I can be calm as a cloudless day. If you can take this holo camera out to the crash site, you could get the evidence I need to get him court-martialed.
It's better than dealing with this guilt trip.
Thank you. If you take holopics of the engine, I can show that the documented lack of repairs is what caused the crash. The most important thing is the supplies, though. The crash site isn't far. When you get everything, bring it back here so I can distribute it.